What's up guys, today we'll be comparing the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 7. So maybe you're thinking about upgrading and you want to see if it's worth it. So let's go ahead and get started. So as far as the build quality goes, I kind of like the matte finish on the iPhone 7 because it's less fingerprint magnet than the 11, so you don't have to deal with that problem. And it feels very solid for a small phone. You have that one camera, Apple logo, you have your power button, your vibrate mute switch, and you also have the power button on the side here. Now you got the stereo speakers along with the charging port down here. And on the iPhone 11 you just have a slightly more premium feeling phone. You have glass on the back metal railing, but you do have that fingerprint magnet back on here, so the glass just attracts a lot of fingerprints. You do have the dual camera setup with the flash. You have the volume rocker, the mute switch. You also have the power button on the side. Now you've got the stereo speakers down here along with the charging port. Now when you boot both phones up, you see a big difference as far as the display and the bezels of the iPhone 7 does look very outdated with these huge bezels right here. So you have a 4.7 inch display. Now this is still a 720p plus display, and the iPhone 11 is still 720p as well, which is crazy. You know, you have a 4.7 inch display. It's smaller, but I kind of like this phone because it's very compact, which I really love. It is IP67 water and dust resistant. It is 326 for the PPI, and it's still pretty bright for being an older phone. Now with the iPhone, you have a 6.1 inch display. Like I said, 720p display, but you don't have all those bezels, but you do have that big notch, so that is the trade-off. You don't have any intrusion on the iPhone 7. Now as you can see with the display, like I said, you do have that, you know, notch that kind of intrudes on the display. You do not have that on the iPhone 7, but the screen is smaller, and that's the trade-off, you know, with this device. So you kind of have to make that choice, but some people like compact phones like me, so you know, I kind of prefer like no intrusion, but you know, some people want to watch on a bigger phone. This display does look a little bit better, but as far as like color accuracy, I can't really tell the difference between the two displays. They almost pretty much look identical. Now you have stereo speakers on both, so let's check out and see how much better the iPhone 11 is. Very nice. Yeah, so the iPhone 11 is just way more louder, and it just gives off just a fuller sound. It's actually kind of dramatic. Yeah, so the speakers on here are both great. It's just that the iPhone is just really amazing. Some of my favorite speakers. Now here's another cool thing with the 7. So you're actually running iOS 13.2 on the 7 as well as on the iPhone 11. So that's very awesome that Apple is updating their phones. You have the Apple A10 Fusion chip, which is very nice. So you can play most games on high on this iPhone. Call of Duty, PUBG, all that stuff on high, which is very impressive. So it's still a pretty powerful chip. You do not have expandable storage, 32 gigs of storage and 2 gigs of RAM. With the iPhone 11, you have the Apple A13 chip. You also have 64 gigs of storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now to be honest, they both are pretty smooth. I never really noticed a whole bunch of stuttering with the iPhone 7 on here, which is pretty impressive. So they both run pretty smooth on iOS 13. So let's go ahead and run a quick speed test. So I went ahead and clear out all the apps. So let's go ahead and go to YouTube. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11. Try the App Store. Alright, let's go ahead and try Call of Duty Mobile. 3, 2, 1. So as you can see, pretty neck and neck. That was very close. Now the camera situation on both these phones are pretty interesting. So you have one main camera on the iPhone 7, 12 megapixel wide, shoots in 2160p. The front facing camera is 7 megapixels, shoots in 1080p. With the iPhone, you have a dual 12 megapixel camera on the 11 wide, and then you have a 12 megapixel ultra wide shooting 2160p on both the back and front. And for that front, you do have a 12 megapixel wide as well. Now you will be getting just overall better cameras, better color accuracy, just sharper images on the iPhone 11, so that's definitely a reason to upgrade. The cameras are overall just sharper, you get more detail, just overall a better camera. Just most definitely with these outdoor shots, you get a lot more detail, keeps photos in focus, and like I said, more color accurate. Here's the picture of the Funko Pop, and as you can see, again, more color accurate, way more color accurate. You get more detail in the shot. It's just overall, it's a better photo. Now for the front-facing camera, I did not notice a huge difference. Like I said, it is a little bit more color accurate, but in terms of quality, the iPhone 7 is actually still pretty good with the front-facing camera, so I was really impressed with that. The 7 does do a little bit of softening, but it's just like I'm looking at them both, and they both look really, really good still. So I was very impressed with the 7. Now you have Apple Pay on both these phones, so you will be able to do your mobile payments on both, which is great, especially for a $200 phone going against a $700 phone. You have a lot of nice features on here. Now the iPhone is IP68 certified, and the 7 is IP67. So they both can get wet pretty much, which is nice. So you do have Face ID and you have the Touch ID. So it really just comes down to which one you prefer. But I do think this overall Face ID is just easier to get into your device without having to put your finger down on it. Now with the iPhone 11, you have a 3110 milliamp battery, 18 watt fast charging, and you will also have wireless charging as well. You can get around a day and a half of battery life with this guy. Now with the 7, this is another reason to upgrade. You have a 1960 milliamp battery, no wireless charging, no fast charging, and you can get around 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. So basically it'll last you the day. If you're a light user, you'll just be running to the charger. So you definitely get superior battery life on the iPhone 11. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Be sure to let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys in the next one.